It's so funny how it stays in like an offline status until I go live, and then it tries to connect everything all at once. So, looks like we are live on YouTube. So, hi YouTubers. And it's slowly making its way over to Facebook. So, I hope you guys are thrilled with tonight's decision. I put out a feeler earlier today on my Facebook page, giving you a choice of one of two different designs. Facebook's still trying to connect. It says it's sending data. And I just saw my picture update, so I'm not sure. So I love the fact that YouTube connects so quickly. Facebook. Need we say any more about Facebook? Anyway, so on Facebook, I gave people the opportunity to pick one of two signs that I would design everything around. Come on, Facebook. And the choices were, and I have one of them set aside. They had a choice of this sign to pick from, which just says, "Welcome, beware of dog kisses." So there was that sign. Or there was, still waiting on Facebook, or there was this sign, "This is God's country." And this, overwhelmingly, like hands down, almost every single person decided this sign, which I was like, man, sometimes you put stuff out there hoping that they pick something simple to design around, but they went complex. So I'm still waiting for it to send to Facebook so that I can get comments all flowing. But we're going to move forward irregardless. Facebook can kind of just catch up, but let me double check. Give me a second to get where I need to be and posting all the things. It says I'm live on Facebook. It's just taking a while. Okay, it's there. Hi, Pam. Even though this says no, not there yet. So you guys voted overwhelmingly for "This is God's Country." Like I said, sometimes I put things out there thinking that you'd pick the easier one to design around. But you guys gave me a design challenge, which I was like, do I even have all this stuff to put something like this together? And it's like, you know, what do you think of when you're trying to design around this? It could go in a multitude of different directions. You can go kettle. You can go Western. You can go farmhouse. You can go very primitive, like Little House on the Prairie primitive. So I am not going to let you know which direction I went until we put everything together. So, hi Elizabeth on Facebook. Hi Pam. I am still waiting. Let's see. Can I get my... Yes, I've got all my chats coming so I can see them both now. Oh, good. So hi Margie on YouTube and Connie on YouTube and Elizabeth. Like, you guys will start to like this too, if it'll do it. Trisha on YouTube says, "Hi, I'm glad I finally caught you live." So every Tuesday and every Thursday. So Tuesday at 4 Pacific, which is 6 Central, 7 Eastern, or Tuesday at 2 Pacific, 4 Central, 5 Eastern time. Those are the times that I'm going live on both groups. So whichever one you prefer, pick your favorite and go there. So we are going to go ahead and get started, right? Connie says both are super cute. Elizabeth said, should we go to YouTube? It's whatever you want. It's simultaneously streaming on both. It is your preferred choice. Some people like to go to YouTube because they can put it on their big screen TV, and they don't have to watch it on their mobile phone, you know, because they can't get Facebook on big screen TV. There is a way, but we won't get into that. So whichever is easier, I'm making it your choice. Hi, Jan. So I am going to cover a couple housekeeping items, both groups. If you can do me a favor and share. My group understands the importance of the trifecta, which means give me a emoticon, pick whichever one you want, give me a comment, and share. That is the trifecta when it comes to algorithms on any of the social media platforms. So if you can get viewers to do all three, it really helps boost your numbers. More honestly, more than sales do. So that just tells the streaming platforms viewers like the content that they're seeing, so please show us more. So if you can do that, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, making sure that you've liked and followed the page will help you turn your notifications on. So if that is your preferred platform of choice, make sure you've liked and followed. I believe it's the follow button that is hidden. It's the 3 dots to the right. Click on it, opens up a submenu. You can pick follow, and then you'll get notifications in the public group whenever I go live. YouTubers, subscribe. I can't tell you how much that means. Just subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Share, let other people know. This is kind of a little bit about like what my private group gets. But my private group is really small, really concise. We talk about all kinds of stuff. They can ask all the whys. You can ask all the whys too as we progress through the design phase. And the private group is open right here. catscreationsandmore.com is where you would want to go to sign up. I'd love for you to join. Things are going to be changing at the end of March. So if you want to get in on all the stuff that is still available now, sign up. You can go monthly, yearly, or lifetime. Other than that, I'm going to pivot you down. We're going to get started because it's Taco Tuesday today. How do you guys celebrate Taco Tuesday? My husband's like, hey, when you get done with your live, we could go do Taco Tuesday. I was like, ooh, give me something to look forward to, my love. Okay, I think you can see everything. So taking the idea that we're going to go wood themed, right? We need to kind of make this a little bit rustic, which means I'm not going to go black. I'm not going to go white. I'm not going to go any kind of color. I'm going to keep it very country farmhouse looking. So we're going with a jute burlap. That's what we are going to start. The sign is a 10-inch round from Personalize It by Pam. We are doing this on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. The reason why I do this on a Dollar Tree wreath frame is if I can keep my materials cost as low as possible, then I can keep my design costs, like what customers would pay for the designs, less than other people who are using much higher end quality products. So starting off with $1.25 from the Dollar Tree, whatever the pipe cleaners are, versus starting off with like $7 to $9 for a wired work frame with the tensile ties on it. That's the only difference. So that is the reason why I choose to do this. Plus, I like to remember where I came from. Humble beginnings, right? Hasn't changed after 8 years. So I've done the first 5 sections for you. We're going to do the last of the 6 sections together. So if you keep this in mind, counting the rails from 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is closest to the center, 1 is closest to the outside. I'm taking my pipe cleaner and I am twisting this around rails 4 and 3, or 3 and 4. So the 2 closest to the center. The reason why I wired them together is stability. It prevents my pipe cleaners from moving around, and I don't have to use glue to lock them in place. Then I'm going to do the same on the outsides using rails 1 and 2, wire them together using this and the weld mark. Just find a comfortable halfway point for that. Doesn't have to be exact. And we're going to do it on the other side. This way it gives you a grand total of 18. That's 6 on the inside, 12 to the outside, with our sign being a 10-inch round. That is the size of the diameter of the inner circle, which means if you want to decorate the outside, leave your pipe cleaners here, like really close to the outside. Otherwise, is what I'm going to be doing, is removing them. I'm going to take out the 6 when we come in. Here is the deco mesh that I am using. It is a natural and white burlap jute deco mesh. I had to rotary cut this because it contains cotton fibers and jute fibers. So We're doing 20-inch pieces. We're going to ruffle it, which means pick a midway point straight up your deco mesh. I just way down the other side. We're going against the curl. So I'm just going to pull this forward, pushing my pliers off until I get to the end. This is what some people call the bow tie. This is what some people call scrunch. It is the ruffle technique. I'm going to start right here on the inside, placing that right to the inside. We're going to twist it 4 or 5 times. And then I'm going to clip off the remainder. Going to tuck this end right back down on top of itself towards the center. As you saw, I take the finished edge. That goes to the forward and to the outside, because when a customer fluffs, this is where they're going to be doing all of their movement. Where we have cut, where it will fray, will be on the cut edges. So by putting those to the inside here, less likely for the customer to disturb them, less likely for it to fray. And so I am just going to, as I go around, tackle the very call it the next one. It just means what other pipe cleaner comes next as I'm going to the right is what will get a piece of deco mesh. So it's the outside right of that section. I'm going to lay the outside ones right on top of the inner ones. So you're going to see I spread that out. I like to take my ends because those are so prone to fray and just fold them under, making them, again, less likely to be disturbed. So we're going to come in and now lay in the left side of that section, and I like to take my mesh, put it right above and right below that pipe cleaner, because we don't have a center for this one. I don't have anything to kind of provide coverage to the inside. So that's the way that we're going to do it, is a slight overlap. Hi, Deborah. She said, got late notification. Just now came through. Came in on Facebook. Well, we're on YouTube too. So wherever you prefer, you can hop on over to your preferred social media platform. Again, folding the ends. And I'm just going to kind of take my pipe cleaners and move them to the left. So when I get ready to lay down on top, I don't have to deal with all the others. So now we're going to tackle one of the insides. And there is that. Connie says, I love Pam signs. I do too. But I'm a sign collector, Pam. You should see. I need to seriously start using the signs that I've collected. Thank God they started putting their information on the back. So I was like, where'd this one come from? It's been a long time. So here we're doing the inside, couple extra. Remove that right off the top, tuck that back in. And now I'm going, because this is an inside, I'm going to tuck this under that left side so that it lays right on top of that centerpiece. You could go through and do all the center ones and then come back and do all the outside ones. It doesn't matter. When I first started, I did all the inside, then I did all the outside, and then somewhere over time I just started to progress with the method I called the next one. Whichever pipe cleaner I come to next is the one that's getting a piece of deco mesh in it. So this is the right side of that second section. And if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free. That's the reason why I love lives, is I get the chance to talk to you. I get a chance to interact with you and answer any questions you might have. So that is an option that you guys have available to you. Also on YouTube, there are two different types of chat. There is, when this goes to replay, when I'm finished, there is the regular chat that is for replay, people that are catching this on replay. If you want to see what the original chat was, there's an option at the bottom that you can toggle on the live chat and read what was happening during the chat. Hi, Erlina. Welcome. Okay. So which direction, because I'm in the process of just laying in my deco mesh, if this was your design, which direction would you take this? How would you decorate around that rustic, this is God's country sign, the wooden sign? It's kind of got a little barbed wire thing going around the side. I was like, barbed wire. I don't want to really put that on the wreath because we've done chicken wire, but not barbed wire. So again, this is that center. I'm going to pull it back and tuck it under the preceding one right here. So we're good. And then I can grab this outside right one in that section and finish it up. Yes, Deborah. She said, are those 20-inch stripes or 20-inch pieces? Yes, these are all 20-inch pieces, which means provided that you have a 30-foot roll, you will have enough to do this without dipping in to another roll of deco mesh, which to a wreath maker on a budget is huge. You know, nobody wants to carve into a half a roll of each color, and especially if you get a really pretty designer color, odds are you might not be able to find that one again, so there's no point in getting it. Be super, super careful now with a lot of these manufacturers. Make sure you read to determine if you're getting a full 30-foot roll. A lot of times with Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you're not. You're only getting 18 feet. Sometimes it's 20. Sometimes it's 25. So that will make a determination for you over whether or not you're going to have to go get another roll of deco mesh. So anything less than 30, you're going to need a second roll. Or if you want to exceed and go larger than 20 inches, you will need 2 rolls. And even though this is quite transparent, once you get this on using the ruffles, it really provides you with some really great coverage. Need to grab this one out. Pesky pipe cleaners. Okay. Put this in there really tight. No worries, Deborah. You're hopping over to YouTube. More is happening. Hop on over. Feel free. It is entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm flipping back down, flipping back over, and again, making sure I fold my edges over. What I really want is a clear line of sight all the way through the outside. So when I come in and lay in my pieces, I know that you'll be able to see all the ribbon tails. Great question, Trisha. How do you keep mesh from shedding? I buy good stuff and I quit using Dollar Tree, and yet it does the same thing. And then I'm cutting and cutting to try to get it to look neat. Well, so Trisha, wood burning is going to be your friend for life. However, using deco mesh like this, you have to use a rotary cutter because you can't use a wood burning tool on some types of deco mesh, especially those types that have natural fibers like cotton in them. You can always try it and see because sometimes the manufacturers are kind of a little bit misleading, because I've had some snowball mesh that I can cut through perfectly, and then I've had some snowball mesh that will just sit and burn and it won't actually cut. That will be life-changing for you. If you go to Amazon and look for a wood burning tool, it's going to have a chisel or knife point to it. You want to make sure that it goes up to at least 425 degrees. And then when you go and make your cuts on your deco mesh, it's going to melt slightly the ends and keep it from fraying, depending upon the mesh. Like poly jute, or not poly jute, poly burlap, the one that everyone uses, the flowers. You can use your wood burning tool on that, but because the spacing on the mesh design is so wide, it still frays, but not as much. And that will be huge for you. The things you'll also need before using a wood burning tool is a glass cutting board. You can pick that up on Amazon if you want. It's usually like, I want to say like $7.50 or something like that for the cutting mat, or not the cutting mat, the cutting board. And that allows you to see your guidelines through your cutting mat and protect your mat from burning, because even though it's self-healing, it's not self-healing to that wood burning tool, but it will forever change the way you will use mesh from that point on. Margie says, have you tried the fine weave mesh from Craft Outlet yet? I've heard of it and it doesn't fray. So again, it's always going to depend on how you make your cuts. If you wood burn that mesh with your wood burning tool, you're not going to get any frays, generally speaking. However, some mesh, when it's really, really thin, especially if it's like Craft Outlet, we have this saying in my private group that extra B means extra bad, don't buy it. But that's not the case in a lot of circumstances. But initially, when it rolled out, nobody went with any of the SKU numbers that started with a XB, because we knew it'd be thin. We knew it would not give good coverage. It's going to be hard to master, but they have one that's like a blue denim, and the blue denim is gorgeous. Starts with an XB, and I love it, but I have to rotary cut it because it is a jute mesh. Let's see, I've gotten the one, I'm trying to get this one right here. Trying to bring down my center so that I can overlap the two. Almost done. But that will help a lot. And I've done some of Craft Outlet's weave mesh, and some of it's really, really good. But again, it'll always go back to what are you cutting it with. And some people use impulse sealers. It's the same thing. It's just a really large item that seals. When I first started out, space is everything, because I was doing all of my stuff in just an extra bedroom in our house, and I was using my kitchen to do all the creating, but all the storing of all the materials was in my room. So there's a lot of decisions that I made based on price and based on storage. The wood burning tool, very compact, goes in its little zippered pouch. Impulse sealer, big, bulky. There's no way for me to find a good storage option for that. So it's just about space and preference. You're welcome, Trish. And then what you can use on mesh like this, the jute burlap, because it will fray. It will continue to fray. So handling you know, I try to minimize where it is going to fray. That's why I use the cut edges and move those to the inside where it is less likely to be disturbed by the client while they're fluffing it for their season. You can use a product called E6000. It looks like this. You can get it like Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, for a limited time. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any of your craft places. It is a spray adhesive, and it works to help. It doesn't prevent them. It doesn't stop them. But it's a spray adhesive, so like a watered down glue. Doesn't leave your product stiff, but it'll help to keep the frays to a little bit more of a minimum. I use them when I'm doing my angel tree toppers, and I have to do like a country one where I know it's gonna fray, and I don't have the luxury of like minimizing the touch points because you've got wings and you've got a skirt. So I build the whole body, and then I will spray the edges with the E6000. It takes 24 hours to dry, or you can spray the whole thing down. Do it on a covered, like newspaper, not newspaper, wax paper, because it's going to stick. Spray it all down. Take a blow dryer to it and blow dry it so it dries fast. That is your tip for the day. Oh, thank you, Estella. She said, is there a certain way you put the pipe cleaners on prior to starting? So I do have a YouTube video that says, here's how I wire a 14-inch wreath frame. I wouldn't say that there is a certain way of doing it. It's just preference. So in order to gain a look that looks like this, you want to put, there's 6 sections, 2 to the outside 2, and 1 to every section of the form. So just like this, 1 and then 2 to the outside, 1, 2 to the outside, all the way around. And then having the 18 set up this way allows me to use 1 roll of deco mesh with no waste. That's why I do it. It's minimizing waste and reducing cost. Okay, so have you guys decided what would you do with this? How would you decorate? What would be some of your design ideas for this? For This Is God's Country. And this is a 10-inch round from Personalize It by Pam. How would you do this? When you guys initially voted on this, I was like, okay, this is a brand new sign, so there's not an awful lot of options out there to look at. What have other people done with that sign? Depending upon the direction you could go, you can use Pinterest and look up a farmhouse wood sign type of a wreath just to kind of get color combinations going. Hi, Valerie. It just depends. Like if you want farmhouse, you're going to yield to less rustic stuff. If you want to go with like a primitive look, you kind of want to keep everything very natural, like a raffia, straw, stuff like that. So that's the difference between farmhouse versus rustic. Rustic goes more natural based products like burlap and raffia and things like that, maybe sticks, like jute, rope, twine, wood-based products going with the wood-based sign. It could go either direction. It could go farmhouse or it could go country. It just depends on what else you add to it. You could do this totally themed around Texas, right? People in Texas say that their state is God's country. So if you lived in Texas, you could design around that. And then you'll need red, white, and blue to kind of elevate it. But I'll agree with you, Connie. She says it needs some color. So, ready for my design choices? Here they are. Ba-bum! These are my design choices, because this is really all I had in my inventory. We are going with that white and tan. It's called Cabana ribbon, I guess, because it's, I don't know, why did they name it Cabana? It's vertical stripes. And then we're doing blue bandana material. So the 1.5 inches are cut to 19-inch pieces. The 2.5-inch pieces are cut to 14 inches. So this is tails, this is half bows, that's that combination. And then, great tip from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has a dark denim blue jean. It's actually blue jean materials with wire in it. So we're going to go with a denim jean, and we're pairing that with this black and white gingham edge with a denim blue stripe down the center. So it's going to be that combo and that combo to keep it oh so country-ish. So that's what we are doing. So the first thing we do is we're going to add our tails. I like to work each section and then just move on, so I'm not going all the way around and then going all the way around again. We'll just work each section. Folding it in half helps me to determine where is true center, so that when I add this to my pipe cleaner, I'm just going to do one twist. I'm going to, right now the ribbon wants to kind of concave. It's like a little chip dip bowl. So I want to put my fingers underneath and pop those so that they fan up and outwards like an arch. Okay. Then we're going to take our Cabana ribbon. Everything already has been dovetail cut, thanks to my sous chef, me. You're going to go up about 2 inches from the end, and you're going to gather it together. That is going to go right inside our pipe cleaner. And if you're not sure if you're going to do anything else in that section, leave your pipe cleaners in. If you know that you're finished and you're not going to add anything further, then you can go ahead and remove your pipe cleaner. I think I'm done on these ones, so I'm going to give it an extra 2 twists. It never hurts to give it extra. So just cut off what remains. I always have to right side one portion of my ribbon, but this little tail, I just take it and I tuck it all the way around the back. Then you open up the loop, and then you make sure you can see both of those ribbons. Nicely done. So we're going a little cowboy-esque. All right, now we're taking our blue jeans. Same thing, fold it in half to find the center. We're going to pop that right in. One twist. Just kind of drag that out. It's kind of nice because it's got a little bit of a frayed edge to the blue jeans. And doing the same thing. Only this time I'm going to keep my pipe cleaners on because I may want to add something to the end of this. It just depends. So open the loop, right side one of your tails, kind of feather that out whichever direction you'd like it to be. And as you can see, I've got line of sight all the way through. As I get into here, this one's kind of gotten squished. So I'm just going to realign my mesh right behind this one, because this is where I put that last piece in. I'm going to prep my pipe cleaners so they're ready to go. Here's my line of sight is back in place. What do you guys think of the combo colors? Do you like the combo colors for this? So again, pop them out. Here's our Cabana ribbon. And we're going to go ahead and place that inside. Couple extra twists. Snip this off. Tuck that around the back. Pesky mesh. It just keeps wanting to pop back forward. So again, bring those out. Feeling very country-ish. Sarah says it's cute. Thank you, Sarah. Elizabeth says, I always love your ribbon. Pamela says, yes. Deborah says, amazing. Thank you. And remember, even YouTubers, Facebook viewers, if you're catching this on a replay, please feel free to leave your comments, because I do go through and I read them and comment. If you leave me a question, I am always happy to help. If you want itemized SKU numbers, instructions, videos, pictures of this design, that is one of several perks my private group members get. They can sit back, watch the tutorial, because usually, if I can, I try to do it same day, but if not, I usually do it the following day. They get materials list that they can download. It contains the SKU or item numbers so that they can shop for those items if they would like to make something similar. Okay, tackling a couple more. Fan that to the outside. Linda says, definitely country. Absolutely. Originally, I thought that I had red bandana ribbon. I do have cow's print. I thought about doing like a cattle one with the cow hide. But I kind of felt like, let's just take it in a neutral direction. So that if somebody wants to do it for a farmhouse decor or primitive, or just, hey, it's a great everyday design, this is exactly what we did. Okay. Straight up the center. Tuck that in. I love this jean material because it's like faded blue jeans. I'm still thinking in my head, if I have anything like, I think I have cowbells, so if I wanted to do the cattle theme, we could have done that and added cowbells to it. But I'm liking the bandana look to it. Okay, doing the same thing over here, just rearranging pipe cleaners and deco mesh, just tucking it in. I didn't get a chance to get this one listed before we went live, so I'll do that later tonight when this goes to replay. So if you're interested, all of my designs, I never duplicate, ever. So that, like, hey, if you want this one, this is the one and only. Even though I might have all the materials to make it, I'm just not a fan of repeat designs. It's not fun for me. It kind of takes the fun, creative aspect out of design when somebody says, oh, I like this wreath. You made this 2 or 3 years ago. Most of the time, and here's the reason, the real reason besides the creative aspect side, is a lot of times things that I am using, I may have had in my inventory for years, and they're just not available anymore. And so, in all honesty, I can't replicate them, which is what keeps some of the designs to that unique, one-of-a-kind design. So sometimes I might take I might place orders for ribbon, or not so much signs, but ribbons, embellishments, and I might keep them for a couple of years and then put them out together in a design when everything just kind of all comes together, because it really gives that client a level of something exclusive that nobody else can do, even if they could find everything similar. Okay, we've got a total of 4 more to do, and then we can move on. I'm liking these colors because it's not like boom, country right in your face. It's kind of a nice subtle look. And I think once we add the sign, embellishments, I have a couple embellishment ideas, but I haven't wholeheartedly committed to them. We can do, what do they call it? A sisal rope. We could add sisal rope to this. We could add raffia to it for more of a rustic look. What else? I think that's all I had in the way of keeping it very country-like. And one of the design elements that I have, I've actually had it for 7 years. I bought it when I first saw it, thinking it was one thing. And then when I pulled it out today, thinking, oh, this is perfect. I know just what I'll use. Turns out it wasn't what I thought after all. So, there's that. And that's why I'm keeping the blue open, so that if we were to add some raffia or some like jute twine, laying that on top of that blue would really enhance the look. Allie says, you can barely hear me. You are on YouTube? On YouTube, there are 2 volume controls. There's one on your computer. There's also one on the video itself. So make sure you turn both of those up, Ellie. Okay, there's that. Fanning that out. For everybody else, how's the volume sound for you? Fellow YouTubers? How do you guys, how's the sound? How is the video quality? Just got one more to go. I think I want to put a bow on it too, and put the bow similar to the sign. All the same colors. Okay, here's our last one with the blue jeans. Right up the center. Pop that down. Fan that out. And then up for 2 inches. Lay that inside, and I'm going to leave those pipe cleaners in case we want to add something different to those. And I am going to add our sign. So we'll add our sign right now so that it'll help us determine where can we put the bow. So grab a business card. We're going to flip this over. I'm going to add my business card to the back just because I don't want the customer confused. That is where the sign came from, not where they made their purchase from. So nice smooth coverage. You could use a pipe cleaner or you can use floral wire. I prefer floral wire when adding my signs, just because I like the look of it. So I'm going to kind of follow right in here, right with the indent. I'm going to punch a hole in my sign using the Beadsmith 1.5 millimeter hole punch. I will link these in the description box when this goes to replay, so you can order them from Amazon. And I'm just going to pull off about 14 inches of the 22 gauge wire. I get this at Michael's just because it goes through the jute and the cotton fibers so much better than a pipe cleaner would. So I'm just going to measure and make sure I have equal amounts of wire. And then I'm just going to build, which means twist your wire directly over the hole. Just like that. And this way it'll keep the sign to the back, not on the front, not to the side. So again, and here's something new that YouTubers can do that Facebook people can't do. YouTubers, if you want to see a close-up, you can utilize that feature on the YouTube and actually pinch to zoom. So you can zoom in on exactly what I just did. I'm going to dust my sign off and we're going to place that right in the center. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. I am looking for my interior pipe cleaners, which I have found. Remember those ones we cut off? I am going to drop that sign right inside. And I'm just kind of pulling some of my burlap mesh up so that when I poke my wire through, it conceals the wire in the frame at the same time. So I've got them both equally pulled. I'm just going to lay that down at the depth I want. Twist, twist, twist. Come over to the opposite side, find my interior pipe cleaner, which is way over here. Do the same thing. Just pop that right down. Yes. That is center. I was like, it just felt like it was over so far. Okay, let me grab the one. And then I'm going to grab the other. So I'm just going to move my deco mesh in place. And then poke it right through the mesh. And pull that back down. Just like this. Okay. There we go. Now, to soften the edge of that sign, we can pull some of our deco mesh up and around that's in that front. Meaning this ruffle here, like this one here. This is our inside deco mesh that wants to make an appearance. I'm just going to tuck it back in, roll that around the outside again, do the same thing. Just a nice soft little ruffle. Pull this one back so that it's a nice softening around that sign. We don't want to sink it, and that's what it looks like thus far. Okay. We still have all of our ribbons to refluff, get them all where they need to be, but so far that's what it looks like. And I'm trying to think, like, I might want to put the bow at the bottom, like down here, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where should we add the bow? Let me move my light so that light goes away. So that is our design. Should we add the bow down here at the bottom? Like pull our sign up and then down, add it down here. Time to vote. Do you want to do bow at the top, bow at the bottom? Spell's been glitching all the time. I don't know what's up. I have tried everything and it's crazy. If you do a Google search on that, like, why is my predictive text not predicting? Why is spell check not spell checking? There's something going on. Because all the people are talking about it, but nobody has come up with a fix. You guys are all saying bottom. Okay, we'll do bottom. Steve's like, he's like waving me. He's like, I'm gonna go put the chickens away. I'm like, okay, thumbs up. I'm like, whatever you would like to do. Let's pull all the ribbon out and discuss. We have the ones we've been using. I kid you not, Hobby Lobby. The bandana is Craft Outlet. We're gonna do the circle with the pearls. This is one of my favorite ivory and tan ribbon. And of course now the temperature's dropping in my shop. We have our blue denim with the gingham stripe. We have our cabana. And we have crisscross. Crisscross diagonal plaid. I think I'm going to bring this one to the front. Like this. I don't want to break those up. I really want to break something up right here. Like, maybe we'll do 7. Let me think about that. I think I have a blue denim ribbon. I do. I was going to do a blue and tan gingham, but I even have a blue denim. So there we go. Now it works. Although there should have been beige, but it is what it is. We'll do all those in the ribbon. So I'm going to do them like this, I think. I'll do the blue jeans on the bottom since it's doesn't have an awful lot of tensile strength in the wire. So this one's not very long. That's as far as it goes. I do have an extra spool and I'm just measuring this out. So if I did 10, 10, no, I would need 42. So we'll just open up another one so that we can put that down. We're going to start with the dovetail edge, which is bring your wired edges together. I'm going to cut from the folded side to the wired point. Okay, there we go. And that gives you a really nice dovetail edge. I like mine pretty deep. I like them pretty pronounced. Again, designer's choice. You might not like it that deep. We are going with a 10-inch tail. So I'm going to gather, twist, and place that right inside my bodabra. I am going to start with 5.5-inch loops, which means I'm going to gauge this. So I just do a twist and put it in. Take your bodabra, line it up on the 10-inch line. When you stretch this out, this needs to come at 5.5 inches, which is out here. We're like almost 6 1/4. So I'm just going to pull that back until I'm at 5.5. Just my preference. And we're going to do the same on this side. So you're always going to see me bringing it back, stretching it out, making an adjustment. And now it decides to rain. In the forecast today, no rain forecasted. I told Steve we don't even look at the weather forecast. We just look at what the sky's going to do. So there's that. Debbie asked, where does the sign came from? That is from Pam at Personalize It by Pam. And now we're going to take the second one, and this is going to be 9.5-inch tail. But we have to dovetail our ends first. So then measure 9.5 inches out. Gather at 9.5 and twist. Place that right inside. We're going to go for 5-inch loops now. So we're going to have to come in. So move it back to the 10. Stretch it out. Mine's right at 5. I'm going to do it the other way. And put it back on the 10. stretch it out. We're right at 5. And then this is 9.5. Dovetail the end. There's that. The red-handed scissors, for those of you that are inquiring, they are from Kringle Designs at kringledesigns.us. Starts with a K, so Kringle, Kringle Designs. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining. You love the sound of the rain? My husband's always like, I wonder what people in container boxes, I wonder what it sounds like for people who like build container houses. I'm like, well, they insulate it really well. He's like, yeah, but it's still metal. It's got to be loud. And so when it rains, I bring him out here. And I said, listen, because my ceiling is insulated. I said, this is what it would sound like. I said they would probably hear less of it because I have open, like it goes all the way to the ceiling. So this is 9 inches for my tail, and I'm doing 4.5 inches for my loop length on this one. And this ribbon is from Fifth Street Studios. They are on Etsy. They are usually my go-to source when I need a specialty ribbon or I need a ribbon in a hurry because they ship so fast. They do have a minimum where it's like, I want to say it's, if you spend $99, they'll ship for free. And trust me, shipping for free is where it's at. Everybody wants free shipping. Or just not break the bank in the amount we save to pay it in shipping, because then it's really nothing at that point. Okay, this is also from Fifth Street Studios. This is another light blue denim. And we're doing 8.5 inches for this one. I'm also doing 4.5 inches. So I'm going to show you a little cheat sheet. So we don't have to bring this back to the 10. We can just put your fingers in the bottom loop and the top loop and then pull. Because remember, the bottom one's already measured at exactly 4.5 inches. Just put your twist in it, make the adjustment, and then measure out for your tail. So we want 8.5. Just like this. And I'm also making slight adjustments to my ribbon, making sure that like nothing is pinched as it goes in. Okay, now we're on the Cabana ribbon, which is from Craft Outlet. Thank you, Carol, for spreading the love out loud. That just means share, like, and comment. If you guys could just do that, I would love ya to death. Help me get the trifecta, which means like, comment, and share. Sharing on Facebook will take this video and post it directly to your page, so it's so much easier for you to find it when you need it. YouTubers, if you can just click save, that'll help you save this tutorial, but you can also share this because that can generate some additional traffic to your page as well. Because if people click on it and they like it, it's a win-win for you. Okay, we will dovetail that as well. I know, Elizabeth, I love them too. I was like, did I order 2? I have an extra pair that I love. Because when I first got them, oh, they were scary sharp. Like, I could have cut, like, all my ribbon tails all at once. They were that sharp. I use them as box cutters, too. I have really put them through the ringer. This ribbon, the blue denim, is from Kringle Designs as well. And this one is going to be 7.5. So we've done 8, with 4-inch loops. Now I'm doing a 7.5-inch tail, and I'm going to do the same thing on the loops that I did for our 4.5s, because remember we're adding a 7 ribbon bow because Kath doesn't like the beige put together, so I had to make it challenging, because why not? And we're going to cut that at 7.5. I love this ribbon. It is great quality ribbon. Good tensile strength. It's thick. It's not like printed on polyester. Okay. And we're grabbing this one. My little pearls. Super cute. We could have ended with that too. It would have been fine. But I'm going to bring the tan back in. A little bit of the wood. So we're going 7 inches for this one. And I'm going to go with 3.5-inch loop. It's about the smallest loop I ever make on a bow, because it is very small. So there's 3.5. Make sure we're right there. And this is going out to 7. And we are done with that bow. Well, we have to fluff it, but fluffing is super easy. And I've got to talk to my husband, because somehow he was doing something with our cutting board, and now my little hook that I used to hook my bows on is missing. So I was like, where'd it go? So I'm going to do pipe cleaner. You can do floral wire. You can do a zip tie. Whatever you do, make sure you have a way to fasten that to the back of your bow. That's an awful big club sandwich. I am just going to drop my pipe cleaner right over the top. I'm going to twist and just hold it at the bottom, and then twist the stack. Hold the pipe cleaner. Save your hands. And that's all we need to do to secure that stack together. I'm going to take this and set this on the opposite side. So try not to laugh at the size of my C-hook. It is definitely not a 2.5. This one is more like, oh, this is probably like a 2.5 inch C-hook. So I don't know what he did with it. Normally I like rotate it underneath my board. So I am just going to loop this right on top. I'm going to pull all my tails down to the bottom. It still functions. It's just weird. Pull all those down. So I'm just holding my loops and pulling my tails down, because we're going for a bottom bow. And so from here, we're going to lift the top 2. Actually, I'm going to lift the first one. Now I think about it, we're just going to lift that, and then these 2 I'm going to split the direction, because we have 7, remember? And then the next 2, I'm going to do opposite sides. So we kind of have like a little crissy-cross, so that the pearl stays to the center. And then I'm going to grab the next 2, and because this one's tan and this one's blue, I'm going to bring the blue up. And then down here, I'm going to bring the tan up so it sits in between the blue. Just like that. And I think I want to go patterned up versus the solid denim. And then here, we're going to do opposites. We'll bring the dark denim up, but we still need to fluff. So from here now, you just fluff to your desired look. Just make sure everything is lining up in the direction you want it to go. Right now I'm making this one almost a little too high. We'll make adjustments if we need to. And then to add that curl back to your ribbon, being wired ribbon, super easy to do. Just run it through your fingers, and it'll kind of put that little arc back through it. And you could do it to the bottom ones. You just don't see them as well because they're sitting flat on this board. But if I turn it like that, there is that gorgeous bottom bow. So I'm going to pop this off. And I'm going to move my fluff board. All it is a 24-inch by 24-inch by 1-inch thick piece of lumber that I have put contact paper on. So this one is going to sit at the bottom. So right now, if I put it on, it's going to sit right here. I don't want it to sit here. I've done that in the past and had my bows like float on top, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to take right here at the very bottom for now. I'm going to take and tuck my deco mesh right here underneath, because I want that sign to sit, or the bow to sit, as close to that sign as possible. Just like that. And I can go back in when I'm done and pull out whatever I need. So now, when I add my bow is going to sit nice and tight into the wreath. So I'm going to pull these down. And we're going to try for a landing right in here. We have a pipe cleaner, so, and a lot of mesh to get through. So just be patient with me. Man, that is a lot of deco mesh. And pipe cleaners, they have some tensile strength, but not a lot. And I'm just looking at what's there. I want to make sure I'm lining up my sign, so I'm clearing two separate it's stuck on one tiny thread. Okay, I got it. So I'm going to push and hold that right there. I don't want to pull it all the way to the frame. If I pull it all the way to the frame, I have just collapsed my bow. And so now I can line this up a little bit more along the lines of where this would need to be for this particular bow, so that it stays more like, I don't want my loops up here. I kind of want them a little bit more angled in. They can still be fluffy, just not overly fluffy. Okay, same thing here. Just make sure towards the bottom, you give them a little bit of lift, a little bit of love. Oops. Just like this. And I like that teardrop right in the center. So look, that's what we have thus far. Isn't that super cute? So I do want to add, should I add raffia? Or I had this thing. This is the thing that I was telling you. I'm not sure. I bought it, but I was thinking it was a lasso, but it's not. It's actually just called a jute frame. So I'm looking at, if I added this, could I get this to outline around my sign like that? And then I could anchor it to the bottom, just like so. So I have that, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't like it. Like when I'm looking at it in the camera, I'm not liking the way that looks. It almost looks like a boat porthole, and I don't like it. So I think I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to fix all my fluffs back around here and fix my bow that I had. Right? Linda says, for some reason that wreath reminds her of a square dance or a rodeo. Exactly. Okay, so let's add a little bit of raffia to the outside edge. Let's see what that looks like. So remember on those places around the outside I talked about, we'll try one and see what we like. So I'm just getting the natural raffia. So I'm looking for about 3 strands. So that's a good bundle. And so when I make my bundles, I'm just doing it like this, back and forth, the width of my hand. And so this is what it would look like in the design. So it would look like they would just be little raffia bows. Like that. So if I had it, here's what. I'll just kind of twist this around back, and you guys can help me decide. Do we add the raffia look to it, or do we leave it? So that is raffia. This is non-raffia. What do you prefer? The little V-shaped thing in the side. We'll fix that, Deborah. So like this little V right here. Yeah, when it goes up on the door, you don't see it. This is just like one of those things we see because it's laying flat and we can see right inside. But when you put it up on the door, we can move the bow up. So we're good. But we still want to be able to read it. So, what do you guys think? I'm just pulling out a couple more pieces. There's one. You love both. Raffia. Okay. So, whenever you get raffia that is a little too thick or it's just nothing, just put your nails in between and split it. But keep all your ends like at the end, so you're starting all in the same location. Oops, there's one right here. And you can go little raffia. You can leave really long tails if you want. If you want to have really super long tails, just make your tails a little longer. I'm keeping them, whoop, I pulled that one too far. I'm keeping them all confined. So literally here, I'm just going back and forth. And then when I run out is where I'm leaving that. So tucking that into the pipe cleaner that we had. Twist, twist, twist. You can trim that off. Same thing, take the back end of your pipe cleaner and run it around the back. Fluff your raffia out. I usually don't like it to go wider than my wreath is long. Like extend past that point. And I'm kind of fluffing as I go. Just like so. So we just have like 4 more bundles to put in. So let's see. There's one. There's one that definitely needs to be split. There's 2. There's 3. And this stuff, believe it or not, can really slice. So be careful when you're pulling it, thinking, okay, this is just really super soft straw. No, that can give you the meanest paper cut possible. So take your time. Like that's there. Tucking that right up underneath the bow. Couple twists. Split that off. Twist that right around the back. And then open up all your little raffia loops. Okay. So we've got one over here. Trying to get the pipe cleaner I meant to throw. It got stuck in my raffia bundles. So there's one. let's see. There's 2. And I like some of the stuff that is a little more stringy. That's just a preference I have. So I am just making sure everybody has the same start and end point. These ones are going a little long. Let's grab another piece that's a little wider so we can see. So just a nice even bundle. And I'm probably putting in about 4 or 5 pieces of raffia. They don't all have to be the same length, but I try to make sure that we get ends on both sides so that you can have a little bit of streamers that come down towards the bottom, but don't exceed the limitations. Okay, I'm doing the same thing, still making sure we're in. Almost done. Any eggs? They laid 5 today. Wow, our chickens are back up to their laying. Because I got 3 this morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've gone out there and I told them, I'm like, rent's due. Rent's due. We've given you guys the entire winter off. Rent is now due and payable. You guys want more snacks, more sunflower seeds, more worms. We're part of the family. Y'all need to do your part. So, I guess that's a good sign. A really good sign. Because we were like thinking some of our chickens may have gotten...
There's still a couple feelers.
No, because with 5, well... Yeah, it would depend. Did you get a Wednesday egg?
I got a Wednesday egg, yeah.
Okay. Wednesday lays the smallest little eggs. It's like a quail egg. She tries. Okay, I've got 1 more underneath here, and I will add a touch raffia to the center too. There's 1, 2. So some of these are just like, wow. We don't want those that thin. We don't want them that thick either. I don't want to see that in a bundle. So I just keep splitting them until they're a little more fuzzy. Carol says I might use you for a while. I might lose me for a while. It says use. She says, I am not home in Indiana. I'm in Missouri going through the foothills. Drive safe, my friend. Okay. So here's the last one. Let's bundle. And we're going to tuck this one right underneath because we do have a vacancy underneath. So we're going to do that. Oops. It just makes it hard to see with my wire cutters. Where are we cutting the wire? And we'll fluff, readdress, and remember I still had this one I needed to cut the tails off of because this was, we're not sure we're committing or not. Okay, so we have definitely made it very rustic looking, and we'll add, some of these are a little long. Let's add 1 to the bow. So we're going to do a small one. So I'm just pulling a couple pieces. Just for a little. Just a little one. Okay. So. I'm like, I'm trying to get them all starting in the same place. So. I'm going to go with a little long tail. So I'm going to make these go back and forth. Let's see, can we get that to work? Will that work? Yes. So I'm going to take one of my baby pipe cleaners I cut off, and I'm just going to twist. We'll cut the back side of that off. Okay, that's why we have our glue gun on. Right to the center, right where our pipe cleaner is. I'm going to attach that right to the center. And then we're done. I can show you what it looks like on the door. I'm going to pivot you up. Ooh, what a stretch. Hang on a sec, I'm trying to get it all the way up. Still not all the way up. That's a little too far. Don't want to see the top. Okay, so we'll take this one down. We're going to put the other one up. This is your sign choice. This was my design challenge. So this is the outcome of what we did with what you wanted. So again, make sure all of your ribbon tails are all out. I'm going to pull some of these different colors down here under. I'm going to bring my loops up a little higher. Open, open, open. There we go. Bring that up a little bit. Pull that down. Making sure all these are out. They're nice and fluffy. We don't have anything doing anything weird. Ooh. Okay. So, there we go. And now we can pull some of this out from the side that we checked in. What all? This looks crooked. I think I'm good. Oh, let's make sure these are up. There we go. There we go. There's our design. That's what you guys picked. That's what I made. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. That is the final design for today. Thank you, Blanche. She said that is really beautiful. What type of hanger do you use on your door to hang your wreaths? Deborah, you really want to know? I use a screw. I screw a wood screw into the door because I just don't like to see the wreath hanger. So we just put a little screw in the bottom of our door and it just goes right on top. So
it's a long screw. It's like a 3-inch screw.
Yeah, it's like a 3-inch screw. But we don't put it all 3 inches in with a little bit.
Yeah, you put it
we
in
leave
like
it
inch.
pretty beefy, so it will hold whatever we put out there. Aw, thank you, Carol. Thank you, Pam. She said it turned out very pretty. Connie said, love it. Carol said, love your backdrop. Yeah, we're going to have to change that soon. I need another one. We need a summer one because we're going to be moving into summer designs here. So that was all of our spring. So we had a winter one, which is gorgeous. You guys can go back and look at that. But yeah, it's just super fun. I'm hoping one day soon we'd have to like relocate my space all the way to the front of the garage. But I would love it if we could lift up the roll top garage. You just see down the driveway and all the pine trees, and then you can watch the deer come in and out. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe they'd just stay there, and then the deers would become popular. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me. Have an amazing night. Don't forget to come back Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific. That is 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube or Facebook, doesn't matter.